ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Now we're going to have the reading of the law. We're going to begin in Exodus, the 20th chapter, verses 1 through 17. Exodus 21 through 17. Read it when you get it.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Go ahead.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
We're going to go into Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, verses 13 to 14. Read it when you get it.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Revelation 22, verses 14 to 15.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
That is the reading of the law. That is the path of life. That's how you get salvation. So if anybody come to you and tell you ain't got to keep the commandments, they're trying to push you out of the way of salvation. They're trying to push you out of the way of eternal life. So you push them out of your way. And I want to say good afternoon to all the children of the covenants, to the natural seed and the spiritual seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to the Commonwealth of Israel, good afternoon. And to the people watching online, good afternoon. And again, the Lord has blessed me to stand before you. And we're going to get into it. So this is the second leg of the lesson, the truth about Christmas. And it took all these years for me to actually make it two parts instead of taking stuff out and putting stuff in so that I could try to teach other stuff the next time, which is a whole year later. So we gonna, and it's still not everything in it, but we're going to get into it. So it's the truth about Christmas, part 2, idolatry. Idolatry. So, anytime you are dealing with breaking God's commandments, like telling lies or committing adultery or anything like that, you still serving another God. But it's many ways that Satan can deceive you and have you serving him, and you don't even know because you think it's cool, you think it's tradition, you think ain't nothing wrong with it. But we're just gonna look into a few things that the world get into and think that it's okay. So we're gonna again, we just read this, but we're gonna read it again because I want this to be in your head. We're gonna start this in Exodus the 20th chapter again, verses 1 through 6. We're gonna see what the Lord say about this thing. Go ahead and read it.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So it said, thou shalt have no other gods before me. So that means you can't have no other God, period. You can't put your children in front of God. You can't put yourself in front of God. You can't put your spouse in front of God. You should have no other gods before him. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
So you can't walk around with no cross around your neck. You can't do that. You can't walk around with no star around your neck. That's a star of Remphan. You can't do that. Even the other star, that's a representative of the all-seeing eye of Horus, which is Satan. You can't do that. So he said, you can't deal with no other God in no kind of way. You can't have no secret conversations with him. You can't be texting him. You know, you can't be, sneaking out going to have drinks with him. You can't do none of that stuff. You can't deal with nobody else. That was it?
We still have 5 and 6.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
Oh, you can't bow down to them. So you can't go into the so-called mother church and bow down to all those statues and bow down to this man. You can't do that. Go ahead.
Nor serve them. Mm-hmm. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
And what happens when somebody jealous? They be ready to kill. Don't act like y'all don't know. They be ready to kill. So the Lord say he a jealous God. What that mean? That means he will kill you. Why y'all pretending like y'all don't understand this? That means he will kill you. A lot of people thinking the Lord won't kill you, but we got this thing that's called the lake of fire. If the Lord loved everybody, would he put anybody in the lake of fire? He don't want to, but if you get out wrong with him, you're going to lose that love. We found that out earlier, last week in the lessons before that. But anyway, go ahead and finish it.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
So we know who love him, the ones that keep his commandments. We found that out last week. So he said, but I'm going to visit the iniquity of those that hate me. Those are the ones that serve another God. He going to come see you. Are you prepared for that? See, that's the thing. People think they're prepared to meet the Lord, and they're not prepared to meet the Lord. But let's go into Exodus 24th chapter. So the Lord called Moses up, and he told him and Aaron and Aaron's sons and 70 of the elders come up, and he going to commune with God. But we're going to read verses 1 and 2, and then we're going to skip. So Exodus 24 in verse 1. Go ahead.
And he said unto Moses, Come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, and they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him.
So now he said only Moses going to come up near me. But they all there, all 74 people there, but only one he said going to come up near me. Even Joshua didn't go all the way up there with him. But go ahead and skip down to verse 9. Read it.
Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were, the body of heaven in his clearness.
Go ahead.
And upon the nobles of the children of Israel he laid not his hand.
So he got hands, so he's not a puff of smoke. Go ahead and read.
Also they saw God, and did eat and drink.
So they saw God. They didn't see his face, but they saw God, and they ate and drank, so that means they saw him for a long time. Go ahead. And
the Lord said unto Moses, Come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law and commandments which I have written, and thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up, and his minister Joshua, and Moses went up into the mount of God. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. He said, look, Aaron and Hur, they the top dogs after Moses, right? He said, they with you. If anybody got an issue, go to these guys. Come again. 14. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moses went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount.
So now Moses up there, and he communed with God, and God going to give him these tables of stones. So we're not going to read all the way through it, but Moses was up there for 40 days and 40 nights. So now he up there, but you got Aaron and Hur. They supposed to have things in order, right? But let's see what they did. Let's go into the 32nd chapter of Exodus and see how they got down with this. All right, we're gonna begin at verse 1, I think.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron, and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him.
So they said, we don't know what happened to Moses, so make us some gods like the Egyptians got. But now the Lord then did a whole lot of things to bring them out of this bondage of Egypt and from serving those false gods in Egypt. In fact, if you read the whole thing, before they left, the Lord had destroyed all the false gods of Egypt. He broke them up. But now they want to go back into bondage. They want to return to sin. So they said, Aaron, make us some gods. Now, the Lord then appointed Aaron a certain spot. But what did he do? Go ahead and read.
And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings.
It's supposed to be some, hold on, wait a minute, we ain't doing that. But he didn't do none of that. He said, well, give me the jewelry then. I don't know if he thought that was going to stop him, but people know what Christmas is and they ain't stopping it from doing it, is it? Go ahead and read.
And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are on the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. Mm-hmm. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf.
So he didn't hesitate, he didn't delay. He said, break off the earrings and all the jewelry and everything, and we're gonna melt it all down, and we're going to make this golden calf. This takes some time to do. So how long was it after Moses went up there that they decided to do this? Because it takes some time to melt that gold down. They ain't had no furnace or nothing out there. And then to fashion it, with a graving tool, that took some time to do. So it might have been almost immediately after he went up there. It probably was a day or two. You know how Jake's is. Well, I ain't got time to wait. I be waiting on the bus. It take too long. I start walking. I know it's 4 or 5 miles. I'm going to walk because I don't want to wait for the bus, right? Then the bus passed me up. Now I'm mad, right? But that's how Jake's is. We don't want to wait, but go ahead and read.
And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
But now the Lord didn't just about destroyed Egypt. He didn't kill the Egyptian army, killed Pharaoh, and told them, you ain't going to never go into this bondage, see these people again. I freed you from this bondage, which represented the bondage to sin. But now it's this golden calf. These be thy gods that brought you out of Egypt. The golden calf came out their ears from around their wrists and off their fingers. So how is it that that's what brought them out of Egypt? Madness. It got to be madness, right? What verse?
Verse 5.
Go ahead.
And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation, and said, Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord.
Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. They even having a feast to this false god. And called it the Lord. Go ahead, brother.
And they rose up early on the morrow, and offered burnt offerings, and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink, and rose up to play. They
had them a good old time. But see, it's just like Easter and Halloween and all that stuff. They had these big old celebrations for this stuff. And they make sacrifices to these false gods. This is what this stuff be, sacrifices. The Easter breakfast, that's a sacrifice. The Halloween stuff, that's a sacrifice to the false gods or to the dead, which pretty much all the false gods are dead people. But go ahead and read.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people, which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt.
So now he called them Moses' people. He said, thy people that you brought out of the land of Egypt, go ahead.
Have corrupted themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them.
They did it quickly. So Moses couldn't have been up there too long before they did this. They turned aside quickly and started dealing with another God. Go ahead and read.
They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
So even when you're in your closet, the Lord can see what you're doing. So don't think you can hide from the Lord. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now, therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them.
So this people so stubborn, I might as well go and knock them off, because the Lord is real upset now. Come on.
And that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation.
Because Moses is still a child of Abraham. So and he's still a child of Isaac, and he's still a child of Jacob. So if he kill everybody else and just start with Moses, the covenant won't be broken. So he said, I'm gonna start with you. I'm just gonna kill everybody, and I'm gonna just make a great nation of thee. Didn't he do it with Jacob? He made a great nation with Jacob, didn't he? A whole lot of people came out of Abraham. A whole lot of people. You got Ishmael had 12 princes. Esau had 12 dukes. Y'all see that thing set up? Jacob is the father of 12 tribes. So the Lord can bring it out of one man. Go ahead.
Are we skipping to 15?
Oh, that was it. We skipping down to 15?
Yes, sir.
Skipping down to 15. Go ahead.
And Moses turned and went down from the mount, and the 2 tables of the testimony were in his hand, and the tables were written on both their sides. On one side and on the other side were they written. Mm-hmm. And the tables were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God.
So we read in 24 that he was going to do this with Moses, right? He called him up there. He said, I'm going to give you these tables of stone, right? So Moses coming down with these tables of stone, that it's the writing of God. God wrote these commandments, and he wrote them in stone, so they can't be erased, they can't be changed, they can't be altered. So can't no man come no 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, 6,000 years later talking about he finna change the word of God. He gonna change the Sabbath day, anything like that. That can't happen. In fact, when you read about the Sabbath, it says it's inviolable, which means it can't be violated. But can't none of the Lord's laws be violated. They can't be broken, so nobody can change them. But read.
And the writing was the writing of God, graven upon the tables. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moses, there is a noise of war in the camp. And he said, it is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear.
See, it's the noise of them that sing do I hear. They down there partying. It's not no war going on down there. That's not what's happening. Plus the Lord had already put him in tune, right? He know what's up. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh into the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tables out of his hands, and brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made, and burnt it in the fire. And
So he took the tables of stone that the Lord had wrote on, he cast them down, and they broke apart. So I ain't gonna say that, but we see who broke the 10 Commandments first, right?
Some Mosaic law.
Anyway, let me quit. Pick that up again.
And he took the calf which they had made, and burnt it in the fire, and ground it into powder, and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink of it.
So he put it in the water. He made them drink of that water. And why would they drink of that water? Because Moses said do it. Because Moses was a killer. So they knew if we don't do it, he gonna kill us. This one man, but they know he was that kind of man. So they drank that water. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto Aaron, what did this people unto thee, that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Thou knowest the people, that they are set on mischief.
So you know how these people are, man. You know they set on mischief. I used to be at a place where I had authority over a couple of hundred people. And if I say it ain't going down, it ain't going down. And I ain't no big guy, but it is what it is. Rules are rules, right? So all Moses had to do was say, nah, we ain't doing that. I mean, Aaron, nah, we ain't doing that. And that would have been that. But no, that's not what he did, though. He was dealing with a little weakness right there. But now he's going to try to lie about it. But anyway, go ahead.
For they said unto me, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him.
So that part was the truth, right? But here come the lie. Go ahead.
And I said unto them, whosoever hath any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me. And then I cast it into the fire.
He just threw it in the fire, and what happened?
And there came out this calf.
And the calf came out all by itself. This is the same thing that Satan did in the Garden of Eden. He told Eve the truth. You're gonna be as gods, knowing good and evil. He didn't say you was gonna be God. He said as God, knowing good and evil. But he lied when he said you should not surely die. She should have picked that up though. But it was too late. She was already talking to him. But he came with the truth, and then he threw the lie there, like Moses, some kind of simp. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're gonna play with my intelligence? Anyway, go ahead.
And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side?
So who was on the Lord's side? Because Aaron had made them naked. So that made them holy angels have kind of moved back, because when they ain't protecting you, you naked. So Moses see this, he said, oh, hold on, we got to do something about this. Who on the Lord's side here? Come on.
Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. Mm-hmm. And he said unto them, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp.
These are the Levites. He said every man put his sword on his side. So that apparently meant they already had swords, right? They didn't have to go to the Canaanites of Bam or nothing like that. They already had these swords. So anyway, go ahead and read.
And slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men.
Just of the men, 3,000. Just of the men, 3,000. In that one day. Because of what? Because they served the false god, because they served the image. See how the Lord, he don't brook no mess like that? From nobody. From nobody. These are people that's called after his name. They was called Israel, right? That's the Lord's name. And if he won't take no stuff off of them, what about everybody else? They think he gonna take some stuff off of them? We gonna see. Was that it?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's continue. Let's go into Leviticus chapter 20. See, the Lord got a thing about this idolatry, because it's just like being married and your spouse go deal with somebody else. We supposed to be married to the Lord, right? So how is we gonna go deal with another God? That's a spiritual adultery, a spiritual fornication, and he a jealous God. He told Moses, "I'm gonna kill everybody and just make of you a great nation." He could have did that, but Leviticus 20 and verse 2. Go ahead.
Again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech.
Now we're going to deal with Molech a little later, but he said, even of the strangers.
Even of the strangers.
Even of the strangers. So who supposed to be following these commandments?
Everyone.
Everyone on this planet is supposed to follow these commandments. It don't matter what nation you come out of, what's your creed, what's your race, none of that. Because this is the God of the whole world right here. So he said, if anybody give a seed to Molech. So you can't go to, what's that, Planned Parenthood? You can't go there. God forbid. That's giving your seed to Molech. You can't put no presents under the tree for your children. That's still giving your seed to Molech. Go ahead.
He shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones, and I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people.
So he gonna cut that man off, right? Gonna have him stoned to death, and he gonna cut him off from among the people of God. Go ahead.
Because he hath given of his seed unto Molech, to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name.
Go ahead.
And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man.
So if anybody hide their eyes and act like they don't see what's going on, come on.
When he giveth of his seed unto Molech, and kill him not, then I will set my face against that man, and against his family.
He said, I'm going to set my face against that man and against his family. Not just that man, but against his family. See how a man can bring a whole lot of harm to his family? Go ahead.
And will cut him off.
But hold on, but that don't leave the women now, because Eve, she brought harm to her family, to the whole creation. So when we say man, we talk about mankind. Go ahead and read.
And will cut him off, and all that go a-whoring after him, to commit whoredom with Molech from among their people. And the soul that turneth after such as familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a-whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people.
So he said, I don't care who it is, if they go dealing with these other gods and laying up with these other gods, I'm going to kill them. And then I'm going to kill their wife, and I'm going to kill their children. I'm going to destroy their property. I'm going to slay all their livestock. Even when Dathan and Korah had murmured against Moses and Aaron, when the Lord opened up that earth to swallow them up, it didn't just swallow those guys up. It swallowed their wife and children and their friends and their livestock and everything that belonged to them, and let everybody see this thing, right? It's just like when they take somebody out to stone to death, everybody get to see it because everybody's supposed to take part in it. So that you will understand that I'm not going to take none of this off of nobody. Off of nobody. But go ahead, brother.
Sanctify yourselves, therefore.
You're supposed to do what?
Sanctify yourselves.
Read it again.
Sanctify yourselves,
That
therefore,
means set yourself apart from everybody else. Go ahead.
and be ye holy, for I am the Lord your God, and ye shall keep my statutes and do them. I am the Lord which sanctify you.
He said, I'm the Lord which set you apart. So that means you got to follow my instructions to be set apart. So we're supposed to set ourselves apart from everybody else. We're going to get a little deeper into that too. But that was it, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's continue. We're going to 1 Kings 11. We're going to look at somebody that did this thing, but that gave their children to Molech. 1 Kings 11. This is King Solomon here. And this is the one that had 1,000 females. I don't know what you're going to do with 1,000 females. Lose your mind. Oh, well, that's what happened, ain't it? He lost his mind. That's what happened. Hey, that's how it go. Check yourself. Anyway, verse 11 and 1.
Yes, sir.
11 and 1, go ahead and read.
But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites.
So he had a cornucopia of women, right? They was from all kind of nations. Look, the Ammonites and the Moabites, they was related to Israel, but then he had some Hamites and who knows what else. 1,000 women. Go ahead.
Of the nations concerning which the Lord has said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods.
Say they're going to turn away your heart after their gods. Now, if you could deal with somebody else if they serving your God, because we know David's grandmother was of another nation, but she clung unto the God of Israel. She served the God of Israel. So it's a difference when they serving your God. But his wives, he apparently didn't make it a thing where you got to serve my God, and not because I'm making you either. That's the thing. If you making her do it, then she ain't serving your God, and you not either. If you think you're gonna make somebody serve your God, unless the Lord put you in that kind of place like He did the nation when He told them to kill these people, but the Lord was already done with them though. But anyway, what verse?
We're at the end of 2.
Go ahead.
Solomon clave unto these in love.
And look, you love 1,000 women. I got. Anyway, but like the brother said, he claimed to them in lust. But we're gonna read the book though. Go ahead.
And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart.
And they drove him crazy. If you got 6, they're gonna drive you crazy. What you gonna do with 1,000? If you got 3, they're gonna drive you crazy. What you gonna do with 1,000? What you gonna do with 10? I was just getting ready to say that. If you got 1, and you talk about 1,000 men, please. That's it's more than extreme. That's sick. But he lost his mind because we're gonna see. Go ahead and read.
For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect in the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. Mm-hmm. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians.
So he went after Ashtoreth, the gods of the Zidonians, right? So the Zidonians, they was kind of north of Israel. The Zidonians and what's the other one? The Phoenicians. Yeah, they was kind of north of Israel, but they were still Hamites. Go ahead.
And after Milcom, the abomination of the Amorites.
Of the Amorites?
Yes, sir.
So this Milcom, I really been trying to find something on this Milcom, but he's still kind of just like Molech and the other one, Chemosh. But go ahead and read.
And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father.
Go ahead.
Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab.
So he built a high place for Chemosh, right? The abomination of Moab, and the Moab brother Ammon had a similar one. Go ahead.
In the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods.
So he had 1,000 women, right? What if every one of them had a different god? Can you imagine the kind of wickedness that was going on in the land at that time? Because at this time, Israel was still one nation, one whole nation. It hadn't been split yet. So he had a lot of space to spread this wickedness. And he's the king. So if you're the king and you spread the wickedness, what's going to happen? Wickedness is going to be spread. That's what's going to, so everybody's going to be off into it. Go ahead.
And the Lord was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from the God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods. But he kept not that which the Lord commanded.
He said he kept it not, huh? Go ahead.
Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, forasmuch as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee.
He said, I'm gonna tear the kingdom from you, because you didn't continue to walk after me. And I told, it's in the law that the king can't take unto himself more than one wife. It said that about every man though. But they did it anyway. But the Lord had his reasons for letting it go. But I'm saying it's in the law that the king can't multiply wives into himself. Now, if the Lord give you some wives, that's different. But the Lord didn't give him these wives, because these are wives that the Lord said he couldn't have. So they ain't come from the Lord. Go ahead.
And will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen.
See, for David's sake and Jerusalem's sake, I'm going to leave you with one tribe, which was the tribe of Benjamin, but then Levi came back. So, because Jeroboam was doing crazy stuff, because that's the one that stood against Solomon and all this wickedness. But then when he seen people got to, they wanted to go, they wanted to go to Jerusalem and stuff. He said, I got to do something, to make the people stay. So he came up with some false gods and stuff. He started doing wicked, but he was the one that the Lord had entrusted the 9 tribes to. But then again, Levi went back. So it's Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. That's what the split came to be, 9 and 3. Anyway, we done with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to go into this, what's this, Encyclopedia of Mythology?
Yep.
Page 299.
Yep.
And we're going to, this is going to be under Molech. So, under Molech, Encyclopedia of Mythology. Go ahead and read.
Moloch, or Molech, was the name of an Amorite god to whom human sacrifices were made.
So, human sacrifice. So, wasn't Solomon serving this God? Go ahead.
The Amorites occupied the southern part of modern Jordan and were descended from Lot, who appears in the Old Testament as the nephew of the patriarch Abraham. In the second book of Kings, Moloch is described as the abomination of the children of Ammon. Many Israelites are believed to have consecrated their children to Moloch by throwing them into the flames.
How you going to consecrate? Consecrate means to like cleanse, right? You're going to cleanse your children by throwing them into the flame. This is sick. Your own children into the fire to appease a false, something that you, put that picture of Molech up there, Molech 1. And is this thing constructed, and they going to throw their children into this fire. Put Molech 1 up there. But anyway, continue to read.
It is sometimes argued that rather than being the name of a god, Molech refers simply to the sacrificial ritual. The children were burnt in a place called Tophet in the valley of Hinnom, which had been built for the explicit purpose. For the explicit purpose, go ahead.
Of
sacrificial rituals.
That's what it was built for sacrificial rituals. And they're going to sacrifice their children. That was Molech. So you got this. I know I got a picture of it up here somewhere. Oh yeah. So you got this thing. They constructed this thing, right? You can see they built it, right? Just like they did that golden calf. And then they're gonna bring their children over here and lay them in the hands and let the children roll down to the fire like they ain't got nothing to do with it. But you laid your child up there. This is what they was doing. And see, we talking about Solomon's wives served this guy, right? And they had children, and whose children were they? They were Solomon's children. That's the thing. So we got to know what we're doing. Because it's a lot of things that go on, especially here in the United States, that we just take for customs or what's the word? Traditions, yeah. Traditions. It's a tradition. It's like a lot of people won't give up a lot of things because of tradition. Because of tradition, they won't give it up. And they will look away from it because they don't want to give up that tradition. I know it's wrong, but I ain't gonna look. I don't know for sure because I'm looking over here. I see you looking over there when I'm trying to show it to you right here. But that was Molech?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it said he served Ashtaroth too, right? So this is page, was it 268 and 269 in the same book, the Encyclopedia of Mythology. Page 268 and 269, which we read under Ashtaroth. That's what it is.
It's a few names, actually.
What I put on the paper, though?
We have Asherah, Ashtoreth, Ashur, and
I said what I put on the paper over there.
Ashtaroth.
Okay.
Well,
All right, go ahead and read page 268.
Asheroth, or Astarte, was the principal goddess of the Phoenicians and Canaanites.
Mm-hmm. You just read that out the book, right? Go ahead.
She was incorporated into Egyptian mythology as a daughter either of the sun god Ra or of Ptah, and she was often depicted naked, bearing weapons, and riding a horse.
So this is Ashtaroth, Ashtoreth, Astarte, Estra. So this is who people serve, during that Easter time, right? So put that picture of Ashtaroth up there. Put one and then two, because it says she was also depicted naked, right? Because she is was it in there? Go ahead and read.
She was incorporated into the Egyptian mythology as a daughter of either the sun god Ra or of Ptah, and was often depicted naked, bearing weapons and riding a horse.
Bearing weapons, so she a dominatrix and riding a horse. Who that remind us of? Anyway, go ahead and read.
In the Old Testament of the Bible, she appears as Asheroth, and Solomon had a temple built in her honor near Jerusalem.
Wow, a whole temple. Go ahead.
Indeed, the Israelites sometimes revered the goddess as the queen of heaven and wife of Yahweh.
The queen of heaven. So this is what we're talking about, the queen of heaven. So we got two images of the queen of heaven here in the United States. One is in New York. What's that harbor, whatever it is? It's called the Statue of Liberty. That's actually an image of the queen of heaven. When they first sent it over here, it was black. They sent it back because they said, we ain't doing that. Make it a different color. So they sent it back, and it was gray or whatever. But they wasn't taking the black one. But then we got one in Chicago. She's sitting on her throne, right off of Michigan Avenue in Chicago. She's on the throne, but still it's the same image that's in New York. The queen of heaven. So give me a okay. So you got one is the Phoenician or the Zidonian goddess, and this Semiramis. But then they made their own version and called it Mary or the Madonna. And this is supposed to be the mother of God. All these kind of things, but it's really Semiramis and Tammuz. The baby is Tammuz or Tammuz, as Brother Jermaine like to say it, Tammuz, which is probably right. But what I'm saying is all these things, we serve all these things, and we don't even look at what we're doing. We just doing it because it's tradition, you know. You got some more?
No, not for
That
Ashford.
was it? That was it for Ashtaroth? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Where we going now?
We're going into the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary.
All right, because we had to get Chirstmas, right? Because it mentioned Chirstmas and Milcom. I just couldn't find that on Milcom. I mean, I did, but I didn't put it in the lesson. But Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary page, what, 153?
Yes, sir.
This is under Chirstmas. Go ahead.
The god of Moab, so named in an ancient Israelite song, see Numbers 21, verse 29, and alluded to in Jeremiah 48, 7, 13, and 46. Jephthah refers to Chemosh as god of the Amorites, Judges 11 and 24, either by mistake or because Ammon also worshipped Chemosh in addition to Molech. Solomon introduced the worship of Chemosh into Jerusalem to please a foreign wife.
He introduced it to the Israelites to please a foreign wife. He introduced this stuff. So he introduced a lot of things to the people. And they accepted it. I don't think they accepted it because he wasn't David, so they probably wasn't scared of him. It wasn't that. Because they was happy under Solomon. They was happy under him. So I guess whatever party he come with, we're gonna join in, I guess. Because they didn't. The only one that protested was Jeroboam. Anyway, go ahead and read it.
Though thereby he displeased his God, see 1 Kings 11, 7 through 33.
Mm-hmm.
Josiah defiled his high place of Chemosh, 2 Kings 23, verse 13, putting an end to its use as a place of worship. Meshach, king of Moab, suffered a great disaster in his rebellion against Israel. And that's it for that.
Okay, so we got those in, but this is just a prelude to what we're getting to, which is this Christmas thing that's coming up. So, but Solomon introduced this stuff to Israel, right? Let's see what was supposed to happen when somebody come and introduce this stuff to you. So we're going into Deuteronomy, the 13th chapter, and we're going to begin reading in verse 1. Deuteronomy 13 and 1. We're going to see what they were supposed to do when whoever it is come to you with this stuff. Deuteronomy 13, and we're going to begin reading in verse 1. Verse 1. Let's go.
If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams that giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet.
So they weren't supposed to listen to Solomon then when he introduced this stuff to them. They wasn't supposed to hearken unto him, right? It said a prophet or a dreamer of dreams. Solomon was a prophet. He was the king, but he was still a prophet. But go ahead and read.
Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams.
He was a dreamer of dreams too, but go ahead.
For the Lord your God proveth you, to know whether ye love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul.
The Lord say, I want to see what you going to do. It's just like like I said before, I used to be real upset with my parents because I was the only child that wasn't circumcised. But when I came into this thing, it was that the Lord just wanted to see what I was going to do. So as a grown man, I had to get it done, right? But sometimes the Lord do that. I want to see what you're going to do. So we got to be mindful of that. Every time something come up, every time we lose our temper, every time we get betrayed by somebody, every time we have issues at work or at school, the Lord want to see what you're going to do. See, he don't tempt you, but he will test you. You really belong to me or not. So he said, I'm going to prove you. Go ahead.
The Lord your God proveth you to know whether ye love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Mm-hmm. You shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him and cleave unto him. That's what
they were supposed to do. Was later for you, Solomon. You know, they could have did, even though he was a king, they could have did something about it. Go ahead.
And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he hath spoken to turn you away from because he hath spoken to turn you away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk in.
To thrust thee out of the way which the Lord commanded you to walk in, to push you out of the way of eternal life. That's what they're trying to do. And you think they love you. You think they care about you? Nah, that ain't what it is. They care about pleasing that false god, which is Satan. And don't think that they don't know it's Satan. Go ahead.
So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or thy wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods.
So even your best friend, like it just that's so closely, they just like one of your brothers or one of your sisters. So if they entice you, no go. Can't go for it. Go ahead.
Saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely, of the gods of the people which are round about you.
The close ones, go ahead.
Nigh unto thee, or far off from thee.
And the ones that's far off, like Vatican City, go ahead.
From the one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth.
It don't matter where these false gods come from and who bring them to you. You're supposed to do something about that and not serve those gods. But put these people from among you. We can't do what it said here because, we ain't in the land or nothing like that. And plus, when the Lord came, he removed that anyway because there wasn't nobody clean. But get them away from you at the least. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him.
You can't even pity him. Didn't the Lord tell Aaron not to cry for his sons when the Lord killed them? You can't even pity him. Come on.
But thou shalt surely kill him. Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death.
That word said kill.
Thou shalt surely kill him.
So this ain't no joke then. You don't got to guess about it. Thou shalt kill him. Go ahead.
Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people.
Because you they friends. So your hand got to be first on them to put them to death. Or in these days, to call them out and put them from among you. You got to be the first one. Because if the best friend going to do it, then everybody else knows it's legit. Ain't no question about it. Hey, y'all got to go. Come on.
And thou shalt stone him with stones, that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you.
So that's why it's done this way, so that everybody will see it and hear it and understand we can't do this. We got to put this from among us so the Lord don't kill no more of us. But they kept going and going and going. I apologize, son, but I'm going to turn this fan this way a little bit.
It's okay.
Because this white shirt going to turn gray in a minute. Anyway, where we at?
We're at verse 12.
Come on.
If thou shalt hear say in one of thy cities, which the Lord thy God hath given thee to dwell there, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which ye have not known. Then thou shalt inquire and make search, and ask diligently, and behold, if it be truth, and the thing certain.
So you got to search these guys out. Say if these sons of Belial, that means they children of Satan, they liars, right? Say if they go around lying and telling you to serve other gods, say the people got to get together and let's go find these cats. And it said make inquiry and search diligently, right?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
And the thing be certain, that such abomination is wrought among you. Thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword.
Because they didn't tell. That means you're complicit. You didn't blow the whistle. You're complicit. You're an accessory after the fact. You got to suffer too. Go ahead.
Destroying it utterly, and all that there is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword. And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and shall burn with fire the city, and all the spoil thereof every whit, for the Lord thy God, and it shall be an heap forever, it shall not be built again. And there shall cleave not of the cursed thing to thine hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger.
So he said that, and the cursed thing should not cleave into thy hand, like Achan did and took that gold and the other stuff. Can't do that. And the Lord got to kill them Israelites, and Joshua was like, hey, what's going on? The Lord said, hey, you got somebody among you that ain't right. They had to get rid of that guy. Come here, son, let me talk to you. Did you really take that stuff? You can tell me, you can trust me. Yeah, I did, man. It was the garments was good. It was a wedge of gold. It was pure gold. I had to take it. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for letting me know. Y'all going to kill him. Because this can't be allowed, or we all die. It's just like we had a thing in here some years ago about the floating Sabbath and stuff. And people got drawn away with that. If it had came to me earlier, maybe I could have kept some people, but hey, it is what it is. But it's other things too. Other things be going on. If don't nobody say nothing, they got to go and you got to go. Anyway, what verse we at?
We're at the middle of 17.
Okay, go ahead and finish it.
That the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show thee mercy and have compassion upon thee and multiply thee as he has sworn unto thy fathers.
Because you want the Lord to show you mercy, right? So what the people should have did when Solomon came and introduced this stuff to them, they should have said, we can't go for that. No can do. You know, yeah, he the king, but you don't got to get off into wickedness just because the king bring it to you. Or whoever bring it to you. You don't have to deal with it. It's just like when I was a kid, when my parents brought me this Christmas thing. I said, I ain't dealing with that. They got upset, they got angry. My father got real angry because he spent all that money. He said, what you want me to do with this? I said, I don't care what you do with it. I don't want it. I know it's a train set. I wanted it real bad, but if you would have gave it to me in June, it would have been cool. I wanted that racing set. I wanted them G.I. Joes, but it was the wrong time of year. So, hey, you had to go. That's good, though. Let's go into this, since we're speaking of these things, let's go into the satanic calendar. Did I miss something?
No, sir.
Okay, satanic calendar. They might not have an image of it up there, I don't know. But we ain't going to read all of it, but I just want to point out a few things here that's on the satanic calendar. Because you might think this stuff don't got nothing to do with Satan. But this is an old calendar. I had it for quite a few years, so the dates might be different, but it's still the same season. So I think I got January highlighted.
Yep.
What's that?
Okay. January 17th, Satanic Rebel Sexual.
It didn't start before that?
No. There is one that's unhighlighted, though.
Give me the one above that.
January 1st through 7th, wine blood, day blood, animal or male human sacrifice.
So this is that New Year's stuff, what they call New Year's. Sacrificing people on this day, because that's still a part of the so many days of Christmas. Go ahead.
January 17th, Satanic Rebels, sexual, mouth and anal, females of 7 to 17 years old.
The children, they in the other classes, right?
Some of them.
Anyway, because this part I don't do this in the youth class. This part, anyway, we got two classes back there for the children to go to. So, anyway, go ahead and read.
March 2nd through the 3rd, Saint Eckstad, blood drinking of female blood.
Drinking blood
for 7 to 18 years, and it is.
That's the age of the woman, right?
Yep, they do it for strength and homage to Satan.
Okay. People do that, though. That vampirism stuff. That's one of them days. Go ahead.
Now moving on to October. October 31st, All Hallows Blood Feast of Feed, male or female sacrifice.
It's about human sacrifice then. It's about a little murder right there, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they had what they call it, come on, man, tell me.
Bonfire?
Bonfires, yeah. That's why they had the bonfires. I ain't old, but I'm getting there. That's why they had the bonfires. Go ahead.
And that contains human children to adult children 7 to 18 years old.
Y'all heard that? So we sacrificing children here. Go ahead.
December 22nd, winter solstice, blood human sacrifice.
It's human sacrifice. Come on.
Male or female infant.
So the infant, the baby Jesus, right? So we sacrificing children here. But when last week we I don't know if we read it, but that's what they put under the tree. The images they put, the dolls represent sacrificed children. That's what they have these days. You know, but back in the day, y'all see they ain't had no problem killing their children, right? That was a form of birth control. So that's why I said you can't go to that Planned Parenthood thing, because they got an image of Molech. I guarantee you. But go ahead and read.
December 24th, Demon Revel, Da Mar High Grand.
So that's the highest celebration of Satan.
And I take it this is for a human sacrifice, male or female.
Mm-hmm.
December 25th, ancient sun god Mithra, Lucifer's day in Druidism.
Lucifer's day. That's the light bearer, right? The light bringer, Lucifer. So all these guys, they represent Lucifer here. Come on.
And Lucifer is represented by a pine tree.
By a pine tree?
Yes, sir.
What? What? So when they put the pine tree in their house, they bring Satan in like they bring Count Dracula in. Come on in, because Dracula can't come in unless you invite him, and Satan can't come in unless you invite him. You see, he ain't go talk to Adam, because Adam didn't invite him, but he had all them eyes and all them jewels on, you know, and all them wings. And Eve said, "But what in the world? Ain't does nothing else look like that? What's up with you?" Check yourself. That was it on that satanic calendar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to go into 1 Kings 14. Because it's a payment for all this kind of stuff. It's a payment for it. First Kings 14 and verse 1. Verse 1. Go ahead and read.
At that time, Abijah, the son of Jeroboam, fell sick. And Jeroboam said unto his wife, Arise, I pray thee, and disguise thyself, that thou be not known to be the wife of Jeroboam.
Mm-hmm.
And get thee to Shiloh. Behold, there is Ahijah, the prophet, which told me that I should be king over this people. And take with thee 10 loaves and cracknels, and a cruse of honey, and go to him. He shall tell thee what shall become of the child.
Mm-hmm. So bring him some gifts, because he liked the cracknels, you know. I call them chicken skins. I don't know, but anyway, he liked that stuff. Said bring him some gifts, you know, to ease his mind a little bit, and then ask him these questions. But go ahead.
And Jeroboam's wife did so, and arose, and went to Shiloh, and came to the house of Ahijah. And Ahijah could not see, for his eyes were set by reason of his age.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Ahijah, Behold, the wife of Jeroboam cometh to ask a thing of thee for her son, for he is sick. Thus and thus shalt thou say unto her.
Because the Lord will get you prepared for what's coming. So he's seen that's going on. So he told Ahijah, look, this was about to happen, and this is what I want you to reply to her, because she's going to disguise herself and let her know that I know what's going on. Go ahead.
For it shall be, when she cometh in, that she shall feign herself to be another woman.
That means she's going to disguise herself. Go ahead.
And it was so. And when Ahijah heard the sound of her feet, as she came in at the door, that he said, Come in, thou wife of Jeroboam. Why feignest thou thyself to be another?
Why you trying to trick me, girl? Come on in here. Come on.
For I am sent to thee with heavy tidings. Go, tell Jeroboam, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, forasmuch as I exalted thee from among the people, and made thee prince over my people Israel.
Because this is the one that the Lord gave the 9 tribes to. Say, I exalted you and made you prince over my people. I did this. You didn't do it yourself, but the Lord seen something in him, and so he stood against that stuff that Solomon was doing. He stood against it. And then I think Solomon was going to try to have him killed or something. But anyway, Solomon died, and then he went to Solomon's son, Rehoboam, and he said, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Jeroboam said, well, we ain't having that. There's going to be some problems. But anyway, the Lord gave it to Jeroboam. Go ahead and read.
And rent the kingdom away from the house of David, and gave it thee, And yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments, and who followed me with all his heart, to do that only which was right in mine eyes.
Go ahead.
But hast done evil above all that were before thee. For thou hast gone and made thee other gods and molten images to provoke me to anger.
That kind of stuff provoked the Lord to anger. You think it ain't nothing wrong with all this stuff in this tradition, but it's provoking the Lord to anger. You think that a lot of these things, these traditions that's going on, don't anger the Lord, but you worshiping the dead, you serving other gods, you eating things sacrificed unto the devil, and you think God don't understand what it is? Whether you understand it or not, but you got to wait to find out. Go ahead.
And hast cast me behind thy back.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, behold.
He said, you cast me behind your back. You threw the Lord behind you. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. A lot of people are going to throw the Lord behind them. Go ahead.
Therefore, behold, I will bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam, and will cut off from Jeroboam him that pisseth against the wall.
That means all the males. He ain't going to leave one male living. Go ahead.
And him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam, as a man taketh away dung till it be all gone.
So he said, I'm not going to leave nothing where they can say this is the seed of Jeroboam. So all the males had to die before they had children. If they did have children, they had to die too. Go ahead.
Him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat. And
wait, come again with that.
Him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat.
Whoa, go ahead.
And him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat.
They're not going to even have no grave. They're going to end up as dung on the ground. This how bad when a man turned away and deal with another guy, like the Lord said in Deuteronomy. He said, I'm going to turn my face against that man and against his family. So Jeroboam got his whole family cut off. And we read it's because of idolatry, because of wickedness, because of dealing with false gods, because of worshiping Satan. He got his whole family cut off. There's no lineage of Jeroboam left. Come on.
For the Lord hath spoken it. Arise thou therefore, get thee to thine own house, and when thy feet enter into the city, the child shall die.
That's the child she came to inquire about. He said, as soon as your foot step into the city, the child gonna die. So if it had been me, I would have sent the letter, hey, I ain't coming back because But anyway, go ahead.
And all Israel shall mourn for him and bury him.
That's the only one that's going to have a grave. Go ahead.
For he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave, because in him there is found some good thing toward the Lord God of Israel in the house of Jeroboam.
Because he wasn't tainted yet. He was a baby, so he wasn't, a child, so he wasn't tainted yet. So in this one, since you didn't taint him yet, since you didn't poison his mind yet, he gonna be able to be buried. But everybody else, the older ones, they ain't having no grave. Ain't gonna be no remembrance of them. It ain't gonna be no markers or nothing. Go ahead and finish that.
Moreover, the Lord shall rise him up a king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. But what? Even now. Mm-hmm. For the Lord shall smite Israel, as a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land, which he gave to their fathers.
So the Assyrians came in and took out every last one of them. All 9 tribes got taken out by the Assyrians. And we just now hearing from them. But for a long time, nobody know where they was at. But we just now hearing about them. Different tribes popping up here and there. Understanding that they're the children of Israel. But go ahead and read. And
shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groves, provoking the Lord to anger.
You know what a grove, y'all seen the grove of trees? This how many false gods they had. Groves of false gods. Y'all ever seen the image of the Vatican City? Y'all ever seen the inside of a Catholic church? Groves of false gods. Groves of images. Come on.
And he shall give Israel up because of the sins of Jeroboam, who did sin, and who made Israel to sin. So
if the king come up with this stuff like Solomon came up with it, Jeroboam stood against him, they should have stood against Jeroboam, but this one guy gonna come, he gonna kill Jeroboam and everybody. I believe that's Jehu. Because the Lord still got servants. But now we are going to get into this lesson. So where we at?
We're going into Jeremiah 32.
Jeremiah 32?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jeremiah 32. And was verse 28?
Verse 26.
26?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Verse 26. Go ahead and read.
Then came the word of the Lord unto Jeremiah, saying, Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the Chaldeans, and into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall take it.
Now this is the three tribes down here. He said, I'm gonna give them the Assyrians. At this time the Assyrians had already taken out the 9 tribes up there where Jeroboam was at, but now this is the 3 tribes, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. He said, I'm going to send Nebuchadnezzar in to take y'all out, because y'all was doing the same things that y'all brothers did in the north. Go ahead.
And the Chaldeans that fight against this city shall come and set fire on this city and burn it with the houses upon whose roofs they have offered incense unto Baal and poured out drink offerings unto other gods.
See, they was doing the same stuff. So y'all gonna go on the top of y'all, the rooftops of y'all house and serve other gods. Where you ain't even hiding from me. You do it in my face. Oh yeah, y'all got to go. Go ahead.
And poured out drink offerings unto other gods to provoke me to anger. For the children of Israel and the children of Judah have only done evil before me from their youth.
Mm-hmm.
For the children of Israel have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, saith the Lord.
So you made these false gods, and you can provoke me to anger with it, and you're going to do it in my face? Go ahead.
For this city hath been to me as a provocation of mine anger and of mine fury from the day that they built it, even unto this day.
Say that means they provoked the Lord. He said a provocation of my anger, so he upset. A lot of people want to tell you that the Lord ain't up there angry. If we're doing the same thing they was doing, which we are, if he was angry with them, and he was angry with Sodom and Gomorrah, how is he not going to be angry with us right now? God don't change, right? He don't change. So if he was angry back then, why he not angry now? But go ahead and read.
That I shall remove it from before my face.
Mm-hmm.
Because of all the evil of the children of Israel and of the children of Judah, which they have done to provoke me to anger, they, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, and the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Everybody. He ain't leave nobody out. Go ahead.
And they have turned unto me the back, and not the face, though I taught them, rising up early and teaching them, yet they have not hearkened to receive instruction.
So he said, though I taught them, that means they understood what they was doing. And so they threw the Lord behind them, like they doing today. And tomorrow they're going to throw the Lord behind them. Because believe me, if it ain't a camp like this, there ain't nobody keeping the Sabbath. They out there having a good old time. And we not supposed to envy them at all. We might feel a little sad for them because we know the results of what's coming. Because you can pretend like you understand all you want to. Because see, I have children, so I know about that kind of stuff. You can pretend you don't know. When I know I taught you, when I know I taught you, okay, go on and watch TV. Go on and eat you something. Because I'm going to be to see you. When you least expect it. And then, I might not come then. I might wait till you sleep in your bed having a good old dream. And I'm going to come in there and wake you up. It's not child abuse. It's parenting.
Flashbacks, man.
It's parenting. So, ain't nothing wrong being like your God. Shoot. That's who we're trying to become anyway. Right, son?
You know.
Okay, we done with that?
No, sir, we still have 2 verses.
All right, go ahead.
But they set their abomination in the house, which is called by my name, to defile it. And they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom.
So that's where they sacrificed the children at, in the valley of the son of Hinnom. Go ahead.
To cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech.
So we know they wasn't passing through the fire. They was getting dropped in the fire, right? Read that again.
To cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech, which I commanded them not. Neither came it into my mind that they should do this abomination to cause Judah to sin.
So I didn't tell them to do any of that. But it came into their mind. Why it come into their mind? They was drawn away their own lust. They seen somebody else doing it. And they was like, well, shoot, they kill them kids and they keep all the money to themselves. They living good. Look at the chariot they driving. If I ain't have to feed these rugrats, man. Anyway, let's continue. That was done. That was it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to Encyclopedia Britannica. And we're going to read under Christmas. So this is page, volume 2. Encyclopedia Britannica, volume 2, page what?
903.
903, yeah. I think it's 903 or 904, but we'll see. This is under Christmas, because this is what all this stuff is all wrapped up in it. But go ahead and read.
Christmas. The traditional customs connected with Christmas have developed from several sources as a result of the coincidence of the celebration of the birth of Christ with the pagan agricultural and solar observances.
This wasn't no coincidence, though. But go ahead.
And solar observances at midwinter. In the Roman world, the Saturnalia, December 17th, was a time of merrymaking and exchange of gifts. December 25th was also an exchange of gifts, or December 25th was also regarded as the birth date of the Iranian mystery god Mithra.
So we know about Mithra, right? And so that is Mithra's birthday, but they're gonna tie Jesus. They're gonna put Jesus' name on everything. Jesus, just on everything, right? So to make the people accept it, you know. But to keep the people from rising up and from revolting, they go, you know, you can still serve your God. We just gonna call it this right now, but it's the same. You can do the same thing. You can still worship the dead. You can still sacrifice your children. You can still do this and do that. But we just gonna call it Catholicism. But you can still do it. We do it too. Go ahead.
On the Roman New Year, January 1st, houses were decorated with
January 1st. Did we read something about that on that satanic calendar?
Yes, sir.
And they did what?
Something I don't want to repeat.
Hmm?
I said something I don't want to repeat.
Right. Yeah, we shouldn't. Yeah. Next time, send y'all children to the youth class or the Little Lambs class over there. Anyway, go ahead.
Houses were decorated with greenery and lights, and gifts were given to children and the poor. To these observances were added the German and Celtic Yule rites when the Teutonic tribes penetrated into Gaul, Britain, and Central Europe. So
they just combined all this stuff together. But remember, we showed last week that the Egyptians was doing it when they was in power. That's how Israel knew about doing it. That's why the Lord told Jeremiah to tell them, don't do this. Because I know y'all was used to doing that thing down in Egypt. Don't do this. Go ahead.
Oh, that was the end of that.
That was the end of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go to Jeremiah 10, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. All right, Jeremiah 10 and 1. Just to recap, go ahead.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
So he said, learn not the way of the nations, because all the nations was doing it. As we learned last week, you had the Egyptians was doing it, the Hebrews was doing it, and the Chinese was doing it. Everybody was doing this thing. He said, don't learn the ways of these nations. Go ahead.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
So they dismayed them. They dismayed when the sun go down early. They dismayed at that. So you don't be dismayed at that. Go ahead.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Mm-hmm.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
So they cut this tree out the forest. Go ahead.
The work of the hands of the workmen.
Mm-hmm. They did it themselves. Go ahead and read.
With the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold.
They get it dressed because it can't dress itself.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
So they got to help it stand up. Go ahead.
They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not.
Mm-hmm.
They must needs be born, because they cannot go.
They got to be carried because they can't go by themselves. They ain't got no strength. Go ahead.
Be not afraid of them.
Because you don't be afraid of him, because first of all, you cut him down, right? So now he dead. Then he can't chase you down because he ain't got no feet. And he ain't got no mouth to curse you or bless you. So don't be afraid of this stuff. When they come to you, you're not going to celebrate Christmas? Nah, why should I? God forbid. Why, you shouldn't do it either. But what about the children? My children don't know nothing about it. Just like I don't remember when it come up, they don't even remember. Like, oh, that's what I was wondering why the stores was closed. We out here dumbfounded because we don't know what's going on. The whole world gets it. We don't know what's happening. But why the bus still ain't here? It been 35 minutes. Because that stuff ain't supposed to be in our mind. So I don't feel bad. I just like, oh, okay. Like yesterday, I said, what y'all doing? The bus driver said, oh, we on weekends. I said, it ain't the weekend. What you tell? Still celebrating some, what was that day? Thanksgiving. I thought it was one day. They made it 2 days. But then I found out it's Native American Heritage Day. I was like, okay, I can ride with that. But go ahead.
Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Mm-hmm. Neither also is it in them to do good.
So they can't do good or evil. So don't be afraid of this stuff. Don't, the Astarte or Molech or none, they can't do nothing to you by themselves. You built them in the first place. So how they gonna do something to you? I used to work with this guy, Southeast Asian guy. I don't know if he was Hmong or whatever he was. Anyway, he had a little carving of whatever God they serve, right? He had the doctor, or well, not a doctor, but he had somebody cut his shoulder open, put it in there, and sew it up so his God will always be with him. I said, what kind of evil is this, man? That's evil. You're going to spit in God's face like that? And carry the statue that you carved yourself. You went and cut a branch off the tree, got your little switchblade, and carved it into an image and called it your God. Come on, man. You got to know that ain't right. You got to know that. You can't believe that this is your God. That was it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go into I was going to say Jonathan, the Funk and Wagnall's Standard Dictionary of Mythology, Folklore, and Legend. This is going to be under Christmas. What page is it?
229.
Page 229. This is going to be under Christmas as well. Funk and Wagnall's Standard Dictionary of Mythology, Folklore, and Legend, page 229. This is Christmas. Go ahead.
Christmas, the Mass of Christ.
The Mass of, so we know what Mass mean, right? That's the death, right? Go ahead. The death of Christ. Go ahead and read.
The Christian festival of the Nativity, the physical birth of Jesus Christ, occurring on December 25th. In some places, like Armenia, celebrated on January 6th, which elsewhere is the festival of Epiphany, the baptism or spiritual birth of Jesus. The festival of Christ's birth was.
So it was January 6th?
Yes, sir.
So we read on satanic calendar between January 1st and January 7th, right? All these satanic things happen. Go ahead.
The festival of Christ's birth was in the early days of Christianity. December 25th is close enough to the winter solstice for other pagan winter festivals besides Saturnalia, which celebrate the turn of the year, to have become absorbed in it.
So they absorbed all this stuff into Christmas. Go ahead.
The Yule feast of Northern Europe, a solstice observance celebrating the lengthening of the day with the return of the sun and concerning itself principally with the spirits of the dead.
With the what?
With the spirits of the dead.
So when the sun starts staying up longer, the spirits of the dead, how that work? The spirits of the dead.
Observance celebrating the lengthening of the day with the return of the sun, concerning itself principally with the spirits of the dead. So the spirits of the dead return too? On Christmas? The things that we do. Anyway, go ahead and read. Became adapted to Christmas. And many Christmas customs of today and the past are those of the Yule season. So
y'all heard about them Yuletide carols, right? They go around singing. They ain't singing to you. They singing to the tree. And then it said that the spirits of the dead return too. Y'all seen that movie about what's that guy name? I think so, with Scrooge and all that, and how all them dead people came to talk to him. They always get us, don't they? I used to love that. I used to love, even though I didn't celebrate Christmas, I used to love that movie. You know, that one in It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart, you know. Yeah, I used to love that stuff. Used to love watching the Ten Commandments. I love that movie, even though I didn't celebrate Easter or nothing like that. But I loved it. But then you get to learning as you're going through school. You get to learn like, wait a minute, that's what this is about. And most people look away from it. They act like they don't understand what it is. But I'm like, nah, that's another God right there. Can't turn away. Go ahead and read.
The Christian story of the Christ child, one more serious than the other, comes from the Yule celebration, which is essentially a feast of the dark ancestral spirits.
Of the dark ancestral spirits. Okay, go ahead.
The second, in happier and lighter mood, stems from the Saturnalia, which is freedom.
To do whatever you want to do. Anyway, go ahead.
Its level of rank and age is making light of tradition.
So all these things wrapped up in that Christmas tradition. Worshiping the dead, talking to the dead, sacrificing to the dead, sacrificing to false gods, murdering your children or somebody else's. All the stuff wrapped up in this Christmas thing, right? But who come along with Christmas, though? What's that guy that come along with Christmas? Every time Christmas comes, this guy come with it. What's his name? He around all the time, but he go by different names though. What's the name he have on December 25th though? Saint Nicholas, Santa Claus. Okay, so we gonna look at Santa Claus right here. Let's look at Santa Claus. This is Funke Wagner's Encyclopedia, Volume 17. You don't have that one?
I don't think I have that book.
I could have sworn I put it. Or was it World Book? I don't know. It's World Book?
It's a World Book Encyclopedia. Yep.
Oh, I said the wrong thing. Oh, I said Funke Wagner said a World Book. Okay. That's on me.
It's okay.
World Book Encyclopedia, Volume 17.
Where you at? There you go.
What's the page?
The page is 101 to 102.
101 and 102 is cut off on my paper. But 101 and 102, this is under Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is a mythical old man who brings gifts to children at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Today's Santa Claus developed from a real person.
From a real person. Santa Claus comes from a real, so Santa Claus is not real. Well, somebody said it's Satan, but that's the truth. But the disguise he has is his real person, though. Go ahead.
From a real person, Saint Nicholas.
Saint Nicholas. He was actually a real. What was he? A bishop or a cardinal or something? He was something with the Catholics. Go ahead.
Who lived in the AD 300s. He was bishop of Myria, an ancient town of Lycia, now in Turkey. According to legend, he was only a boy when he became a bishop. He was extremely kind and often went out at night, taking presents to the needy. After his death, his fame spread throughout Europe. During the Middle Ages, St. Nicholas became the patron saint of schoolboys.
The patron saint of schoolboys. That's kind of suspect. Anyway, go ahead.
Schoolboys in various European towns celebrated his feast day on December 6th by electing a boy bishop. Dressed in magnificent robes, the boy bishop led a parade through the streets. There was much feasting, but on the whole, the occasion was solemn. Later, this custom died out, but Nicholas continued to be the favorite saint with children. That's
why so many days of Christmas, they throwed everything in there. Go ahead.
In the Netherlands, both young and old still celebrated his feast day. A person representing St. Nicholas rides through the streets on a white horse. In Germany, Nicholas sometimes appears as a hairy imp.
A hairy imp. So a hairy imp, we're gonna see what that hairy imp looked like. But go ahead and read.
Pez Nicole.
Read that again.
Pels Nicole.
Pels Nicole. Go ahead.
Meaning Nicholas in fur.
Nicholas in fur. So give me the hairy imp. I think I gave y'all that, right? I don't got one. But This guy, this hairy imp, looks like a Catholic bishop, doesn't he? Continue to read.
Parents tell Pez Nickel how their children have behaved during the year.
So they tell this guy how their children behave during the year. This guy dead, though. It said after his death, right? He dead, so they talking to the dead. So when they say write Santa Claus a letter, you write a letter to a dead person? Go ahead.
Then good children are rewarded with presents, while bad boys and girls receive only a bundle of twigs or switches. Children are so fond of St. Nicholas and his habit of bringing gifts that the custom of celebrating his feast day was maintained. Dutch settlers brought the custom with them to New Amsterdam, now New York City.
So now New York City, they brought this custom with them. Go ahead.
And English settlers eagerly borrowed the legends and festivities surrounding the kindly St. Nicholas.
So in another lesson that Trent gonna do, it used to be illegal to celebrate Christmas in the United States of these Americas. Until 1820, it still was outlawed. After that, they just looked away from it. But it was against the law to celebrate Christmas in this country. But somehow, some way, in the 1800s, they accepted it. In fact, the law of the land say a Catholic can't be the president. But John F. Kennedy was the president, though. Kind of strange. The law says a Catholic cannot be the president. So much for this country being true to itself, right? They just accept anything. Go ahead.
English-speaking children tried to pronounce the Dutch name for the saint, Sinterklaas, but they said it quickly and excitedly, and soon the name changed to Santa Claus or Santa Claus.
So now that's how we got the name Santa Claus, right? But Santa Claus, let me see. I think I got, put Santa Claus up there. See what he looked like. Read it with everything that's highlighted. Oh yeah, this the guy right here. He got the little thing on his head. Y'all. No, you a Catholic bishop. That's the bishop attire right there. Go ahead.
Festivities. For hundreds of years, people celebrated the feast of St. Nicholas on December 6th, which is the anniversary of the saint's death.
That's the day he died. They celebrating this though. Go ahead.
After the Protestant Reformation, St. Nicholas was replaced by a Christ child named Christkindl or Christkindly.
Or also Kris Kringle, supposed to be Jesus, huh? Wow. Kris Kringle supposed to be Jesus. Ain't that something? Go ahead.
In parts of Germany and in parts of Switzerland. From this name came the character Kris Kringle, the angel-like figure who brings gifts at Christmas time. Sometimes Pels Nicole accompanies him.
So sometimes they together, Pels Nicole or St. Nicholas and Kris Kringle, sometimes they be together, right? Then somehow they became one. So give me the, let me see. Well, put Father Time and Santa Claus up there. Because this guy, I know I was going to do this later, but this guy, these guys hung out together, right? But they're going to end up being the same guy. Because remember, they always combine this stuff together so that you don't be deterred from serving these false gods or worshiping the dead. Continue to read.
Oh, that was it for
that was it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What we doing now?
Vestments.
Oh, yeah. So let's see where Santa Claus suit come from. Now, I don't think we have this. They don't have it, so just keep Father Time and Santa Claus up there. But this is where the Santa Claus suit come from. Go ahead and read.
The word vestment is from the Latin and signifies simply clothing. But it is now used generally to devote the garments worn by the ministers of religion in the performance of their sacred duties. Colors of vestments. The church ordinarily permits the use of 4 colors in the sacred vestments: white, red, and violet.
And
White,
violet,
red-
go ahead.
White, red, green, and violet. Gold may be used as a substitute for white, red, or green.
Mm-hmm.
Each of these colors has its own meaning. The sacrifice of the Mass is offered for each Mass. When are these colors used? When the church wishes to devote purity, innocence, or glory, she uses white. That is, on the feast of our Lord of the Blessed Virgin, on the festivals of angels, and of all saints who are not martyrs.
So they got days for this stuff. The Blessed Virgin, all saints, the whoever else, they serve all kind of dead people. Go ahead.
Red is the color of fire and blood. It is used in masses of the Holy Ghost.
In the masses of the Holy Ghost, but ghost just means spirit. So in the mass of the Holy Spirit, right, they're gonna use red because it represents blood. It represents they killed somebody. Go ahead.
Such as on Pentecost, to remind us of the tongues of fire, and on the feast of all saints who shed their blood for their faith. A priest's vestments.
This is the priest's vestments. Go ahead.
1562, the function of the high bishop's ministry was handed over to a subordinate degree of priests so that they might be appointed in the order of the priesthood and be co-workers of the episcopal order for the proper fulfillment of the apostolic mission that had been entrusted to it by Christ. Catechism of the Catholic Church. Catechism of the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is it for vestments.
You got to look on front and back of the page. Look at that. Turn this over. Let me see. No, this one.
Yeah, I read that.
You read that?
That was the colors of vestments.
Hold on. This young man right here, he's smarter than me though. So you read both of these?
Yes, sir.
This and this?
Yes, sir.
We missed something.
And I read that.
You read all of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you insist. Anyway, because it's supposed to break down, it's on there somewhere. It's supposed to break down this the colors of the priest's garments. So give me let me see. Put me one of these popes up here. Julius. Pope Julius. Yeah. So this is where Santa Claus suit come from, though. With the bishops and the priests, they wore these garments. The official garments of the popes and stuff is the same order as Santa Claus suit. Even the hat got a name, which was it was in there. I don't know. Maybe it was in one of my old ones that I had it highlighted, but the hat got its own name. It's called what's it called? I forget. It started with a C. I can't pronounce that name. Camaro or okay, or Camaru. So that's talking about the hat that's on his head. Now we got this Pope Benedict. He started wearing it again because he wanted to do everything that the Pope supposed to do, right? So he is one of the first popes in a long time to put that thing on his head. So give me an image of Benedict up there, either one. Benedict 17. Did I say Benedict? I meant Pius. Either one. But for a long time, y'all just seen the Pope with the little thing on the little bitty thing on his head. But this Pope said, "I'm wearing what we're supposed to wear." So he put the hat on, the Santa Claus hat. So that's where Santa Claus suit come from. So this vestment thing, I don't know if y'all can find it online, because we were trying to find one online so y'all can read it for y'allself. But the link?
You have the link.
We tried to pull it up earlier, but they couldn't pull it up. But you can read the link to them. So I'm sure they got it on their papers if they got copies of the lesson.
It's awakentoprayer.org, vestments.
Mm-hmm. So, but that's where the Santa Claus suit come from. So, since that didn't work out, we're just going to get back to it. Where we going now?
1 John 3.
Oh, yeah. So we can close it out. So let's go into 1 John, the 3rd chapter. That don't mean we're finna end the lesson. I'm just saying we. People out there said, "Oh yeah." Nah, y'all forgot who's standing up here. I ain't the brother of the short lesson. So 1 John 3. Y'all okay. I'm gonna put y'all out. 3 and verse 2. All right, go ahead.
Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be.
Because we're trying to go somewhere, but it don't yet appear what we shall be. Go ahead.
But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have that spiritual body. Go ahead and read.
And every man that hath hope in him purifieth himself.
So every man that have hope in him to have the same body like God got into the God family, they purify themselves, right? They cleanse themselves. They turn away from all this wickedness and all this paganism. They purify themselves. Go ahead.
Even as he is pure.
Mm-hmm.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Go ahead.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
So now we know what sin is. That's breaking God's law. And everybody that break God's law don't love God, right? Because he said, those that love me and keep my commandments, that's the one that love me. So these haters of God, they break his law. Go ahead.
And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin.
Go ahead.
Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not.
So whosoever abideth in, that's whosoever stay with the Lord, sin not intentionally. Go ahead.
Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him.
They don't know him. If they tell you ain't got to keep the commandments, and they don't keep them, that means they don't know Jesus. They're going to tell you, I know Jesus. No, you don't. You know Lucifer, but you don't know Jesus. And the Lucifer you know ain't got no light for you, so you can't even call him Lucifer no more. You can call him Satan. That's who you know. Go ahead.
Little children, let no man deceive you, that he that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous.
Go ahead.
He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yes, sir. So this is why he came, to destroy the works of the devil. But everybody that have the hope of becoming God, they purify themselves, right? Let's go into Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5, and we're going to begin at verse 1. 5 and 1. Go ahead.
Be ye therefore followers of God, as dear children, and walk in love, as Christ also hath loved us, and hath given himself for us as an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling savor.
Come on.
But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you.
So it can't be named among us one time, because we're supposed to purify ourselves. We're supposed to sanctify ourselves, right? Go ahead.
As becometh saints, neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks.
Come on.
For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater.
So all these people are idolaters. Because what makes the covetous man different than the whoremonger? So that means all of them are idolaters. They all serving another god. Because all those false gods are Satan. Go ahead.
Have any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God.
So you ain't standing with Christ or with the Father if you dealing with these false gods or breaking of any of these other commandments. Go ahead.
Let no man deceive you with vain words. For because of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience.
So God got wrath, and he going to bring it on the children of disobedience. And those disobedient children that don't want to let go of traditions and customs, they going to feel this wrath. They not going to get away. They might feel like they innocent, but you're not innocent. You know, which once you get a certain age, you know that you're not supposed to be celebrating Christmas. You know that you're not supposed to be celebrating Easter. You know you're not supposed to be celebrating Halloween. Any of those days in between there, you're not supposed to be celebrating. By the time you get a certain age, you know that. You could barely get out of high school without knowing this stuff, let alone walk around a 45-year-old person talking about, it's my favorite pagan holiday. Oh, it's your favorite what? Your favorite pagan holiday? So you confessing. Anyway, you finished that?
We still have 7.
Go ahead.
Be not ye therefore partakers with them.
You can't be partakers with them, because if you eat the thing sacrificed to Satan, that means you're a servant of Satan. Okay, let's go. Let's go on. I'm skipping something?
No, sir.
Okay, so we're going into Jeremiah 10. Jeremiah 10. In verse 6. Jeremiah 10:6. Go ahead.
For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord, thou art great, and thy name is great in might. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doth it appertain.
So for unto thee doth it appertain. That means everything belongs to this God. So this is the God that we're supposed to fear. This is the God we're supposed to serve right here. We're not supposed to be partakers of all this other stuff, but we're supposed to serve God. Come on.
For as much as among all wise men of the nations, and in all their kingdoms, there is none like unto thee.
There is no God like unto our God. No other God can compare to our God. They be trying, but they can't get to it. Because our God, he the one that controls the elements. He bring the storms and the rain. He bring the floods. He bring the drought. He sustain your life, or he can take it away. But go ahead and read.
But they are altogether brutish and foolish. Mm-hmm. The stock is a doctrine of vanities.
It's an empty doctrine. The whole universal church thing or Catholicism is a doctrine of vanity. It ain't worth nothing. And everything that came out of it, all the Protestant churches that came out of it, which are Baptists, Episcopalians, Lutherans, Jehovah's Witnesses, Methodists, Harry Christians. I'm just kidding about that, but all these things, even Islam, believe it or not, do your research. Even Islam come out of this thing. Because remember, they don't just worship the sun. They worship the moon. They worship the planets. They got a whole period of time called the Saturnalia, right? They worshiping Saturn. They got a day of the week called after the moon, Moon's Day, or we say Monday. So they don't just worship the sun, they worship all this stuff. But go ahead and read.
Silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Uphaz, the work of the workmen, and of the hands of the founder.
You made it all yourself. Go ahead.
Blue and purple is their clothing. They are all the work of cunning men. Mm-hmm. But the Lord is the true God.
See, the Lord, our God, is the true God. Come on.
He is the living God and an everlasting King.
So he is the living God. They can't say that about their God. Our God is the living God. All their gods, even in Catholicism, all their gods are dead. They worship the dead. We don't worship the dead. We don't go and sit in the cemetery and be like, Mama, I miss you so much. We don't do that. We don't go, stand before the tomb. Daddy, if you was here right now, I know we'd be doing it. Nah, man. They gone. You can't see them until the judgment. Whether you sit on the throne or not, you can't see them until the judgment. But go ahead and finish.
At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nation shall not be able to abide his indignation.
They won't.
Thus shall ye say unto them, the gods that have not made the heavens and the earth,
The gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, they not God. Come on.
even they shall perish from the earth and from under these heavens.
So he said, even they, like when he brought Israel out of Egypt, he destroyed all those false gods of Egypt. Read about it. Even this time, he said he going to destroy them from under these heavens. Go ahead.
He hath made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heavens by his direction, by his discretion.
Mm-hmm.
When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth.
Say, when he uttered his voice, there's a multitude of waters in the heavens. So when we look at this blue sky up here, we're just looking at the light shining on the water, because that's what it is. But the theologians can't tell you that. The scientists can't tell you that. They're going to tell you that they've been to the moon. That's a bald-faced lie, as my daddy used to say. That's a bald-faced lie, right? Because they don't even know that there's water up there, because they refuse to read the Word of God. It's in the very first chapter, Genesis. Go ahead and read.
He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasuries. Every man is brutish in his knowledge.
Now, every man is brutish in his own knowledge. He's brutish. He's just like an animal in his own knowledge. Go ahead.
Every founder is confounded by the graven image.
Everybody that make these graven, that's the founder, the one that make these graven images, they confused by it because they thinking they doing the right thing. They think it's going to profit them. It's a rude awakening coming, though, to the stock market and everything when they see, ain't nobody celebrating no Christmas no more, man. We ain't buying nothing. Come on.
For his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them.
Mm-hmm.
They are vanity and the work of errors. In the time of their visitation they shall perish. The portion of Jacob is not like them.
See, the portion of Jacob is not like that means the God of Jacob is not like them. That's our portion, is our God. So he's not like them. Go ahead.
For he is the former of all things.
He made all things. Come on.
And Israel is the rod of his inheritance.
And we the rod of his inheritance. Because he gonna, even when the Father comes, he's still going to rule over Israel. But the world going to belong to the Father, but he's going to rule over Israel. But our God, our portion is not like this. Everything that's made, he made it for him and by him is everything made. Let's continue. You done with that?
The Lord of hosts is his name. That's
his name, the Lord of hosts. He is the Lord of the armies of God. Anyway, that was Jeremiah.
Yes, sir.
2 Timothy, and then we got a couple places after that. 2 Timothy what?
2 Timothy 1.
2 Timothy 1.
Verse 7.
Second Timothy 1 and verse 7. We're going to begin reading this at verse 7. 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. What do he say?
For God hath not given us the spirit of fear.
So we're not supposed to fear none of this stuff. God haven't given us the spirit. We're supposed to fear him, but not none of these false gods. They can't do nothing to us. Go ahead.
But of power and of love and of a sound mind.
And of a sound mind. That's what the Lord has given us. Come on.
Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord.
Because if you're ashamed of the Lord, he's going to be ashamed of you. Go ahead.
Nor of me, his prisoner. But be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of God.
Because you're going to go through something during this season when you tell people you don't celebrate Christmas. You're going to go through some stuff. You're going to be afflicted. They're going to talk about you bad. They're going to treat you different. As Duell said, the spirit of Christmas, or the Christmas spirit. It's a different thing. It's a different animal. We got to be prepared for it. But the Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear, though. Go ahead and read.
Who hath saved us and called us with an holy calling, not according to our works, but according to his own purpose and grace, which was given us in Christ Jesus before the world began.
Before the world began. Because all this started before the world began. But we on plan B now. Plan B because Adam and Eve dealt with Satan, so we on plan B now. But before the world began, he created us to be just like him. That was it?
No, sir, still have 10.
Go ahead.
But is now made manifest by the appearing of our Savior, Jesus Christ, who hath abolished death and hath brought life and immortality to light through the gospel.
So he abolished death. Through the giving of his own life, he abolished death. And through his gospel, he abolished death, because if we walk after the Lord, we're gonna receive eternal life. Let's go into the Psalms, though. Psalms 34. I'm tired just like y'all. I'm trying to leave you too. The 34th Psalm. Because this time of year, you know, we got to gather some strength, because it's a lot of people just coming into this thing, and they're going to have to turn away from their family, and they're going to feel alone. But like I said some years ago, you better find you another family, a spiritual family. That's what we're supposed to be, one to another. We don't need to hang out with the sinners. But Psalms 34 and verse 4. 34 and 4. Go ahead.
I sought the Lord, and he heard me, and delivered me from all my fears. They looked unto him, and were lightened, and their faces were not ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him, and saved him out of all his troubles.
So you got to trust in the Lord. He'll deliver you. Go ahead.
The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him.
So if you fear the Lord, the angels of the Lord encamp round about you. That's why when we read about when Aaron made that calf, and the Lord said he made Israel naked, because the angels of the Lord, they backed up. Because they encamp around you when you serving God. But when you turn from God, they turn from you. Go ahead.
O taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him.
Mm-hmm.
O fear the Lord, ye his saints, for there is no want to them that fear him.
Say there is no want to them that fear him. That don't mean you won't have everything, but you're going to have understanding of why things are the way they are. And that's going to give you a little peace of mind. Mm-hmm. Let's go. You done with that?
Oh, no,
No, keep on reading.
12.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to skip to verse 12?
Yeah, we skipping to something.
Verse 12.
Verse 12.
Yes, sir.
Skip down to verse 12 then.
There.
Read it.
Oh, what man is he that desireth life, and loveth many days, that he may see good? Keep thy tongue from evil, and thy lips from speaking gall.
Say if you desire life in many days, it said, keep that tongue from evil and what?
Thy lips from speaking gall.
And that lips from lying. Go ahead.
Depart from evil, and do good. Seek peace, and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry.
Mm-hmm.
The face of the Lord is against them that do evil.
The face of the Lord is against them that do evil. Like we talked about that man that turned his face away from the one that gave his children to Molech. And he said, I'm going to turn against you and your family. But if you fear God and you serve God, he with you. But go ahead and read.
To cut off the remembrance of them from the earth.
That's deep. So they're going to be cut off. The remembrance of them going to be cut off from the earth?
Yes, sir.
That's deep. Psalms 37. So we shouldn't envy these people. We shouldn't want to hang out with these people, want to be a part of their thing. We shouldn't be jealous of what they're doing and what they get. Because the remembrance of them is going to be cut off from the earth, and the earth is going to be here from everlasting to everlasting. And this man that God created is going to be here from everlasting to everlasting. This is what we got to understand. It ain't no you die and that's it. That ain't what it is. You're going to see your maker. And you're going to have some splaining to do, Lucy. But 37 and what?
Verse 1.
Verse 1. Go ahead and read. Verse 1.
Fret not thyself because of evildoers.
Don't trouble yourself about these evildoers. Go ahead.
Neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass.
They're going to soon be cut down like the grass. Soon. But we're going to live everlasting if we so be blessed. Go ahead.
and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed.
So the Lord going to take care of you. You ain't got to worry about everything that they got. You was out there doing that Black Friday shopping, right? And then you look in your bank account like, man, what happened? You did the food. That's what happened. Anyway, go ahead and read.
Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart.
So the Lord going to give you what you desire, as long as you're serving him. As long as your desire is not no wicked stuff, he going to give you the desires of your heart. He'll give you the house that you need, if you need it. He'll give you the car that you need, if you need it. He's going to give it to you. But you got to show him that you're about him. And he'll show you that he about you. Go ahead.
Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for him.
You got to wait patiently for the Lord. Go ahead.
Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way.
See, they're going to prosper in their way. You're going to see them prospering. He said, don't worry about that. Don't trouble yourself over that. Don't be vexed by that, because they're going to soon be cut off. Go ahead and read.
Because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil.
So don't fret thyself in any wise to do evil. Even that man that bring wicked devices to pass, the one that's going to threaten your job because you won't work on the Sabbath day. That's all right. Just go talk to a lawyer. That was it.
We still have 9.
Go ahead.
For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth.
Say the ones that wait on the Lord, they're going to inherit the earth. So we ain't got to worry about all this stuff that's going on right now, or this stuff that's coming up, because it's finna go in full swing. It's finna go in full swing. Everybody you gonna be trying to check out at the grocery store. They're gonna be like, "Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays." One guy wanted to cuss me out on the bus. He said, "Happy Holidays" to me. I didn't reply to him. I just looked at him. And everybody else on the bus looked at him like, apparently this man don't celebrate that stuff. Why are you still talking to him? Anyway, last 2 places, 2 Corinthians chapter 6. And we're going to begin reading at verse 14. 2 Corinthians chapter 6. We're going to pick it up at verse 14. 6 and 14. 2 Corinthians. That's after 1 Corinthians, which is after Romans, which is after Acts, which is after St. John. That's what I do to the children. Make them feel shame. They supposed to know where it's at, right? If I talk to you, you're supposed to know. But verse 14, what did he say?
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
So you can't be hanging out with the unbelievers. You can have co-workers or people you go to school with or that kind of stuff, your neighbors, but hanging out with them, don't do that. Go ahead.
For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness?
Go ahead.
And what concord hath Christ with Belial?
You ever try to have a conversation with somebody and it's like they just can't get it? That's what a communion is, a conversation. How you gonna commune with somebody that's on another level than you, that's adamant about that falsehood that they serve, and you trying to bring them the right thing, and they like, nah, that ain't what it is. And you showing it to them in the encyclopedia, they like, I don't want to hear none of that. I've been doing this since I was 2 years old. I don't care about that. You don't care. Do you know what the Lord gonna do to you? I don't care nothing about that. Okay. Say la vie. Come on.
Or what part hath he that believeth with any infidel?
That's an unbeliever. Go ahead.
And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols?
Say, what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? See, we can't deal with these people because they worship idols and we worship God. Go ahead.
For ye are the temple of the living God, as God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore come out from among them.
Say, come out from among them. Don't be a part of them. Don't be partakers of their sins. Come out from among them. Go ahead.
and be ye separate, saith the Lord.
Didn't we read that earlier in here? It says, sanctify yourself. It said, be ye separate, saith the Lord. I don't have no problem with being separate. Everybody at my job, oh, you going to keep the Passover, ain't you? Well, you just said that you know what I was doing. That means that you're responsible for everything you know. So you should be keeping the Passover too then. Are you going to keep the Feast of Pentecost? Yeah. And you should be too, since you know about it. Go ahead and read.
And touch not the unclean thing.
So you can't even touch the unclean thing? You can't go buy the Halloween candy? I know. See, y'all quiet on that because y'all all went about that Halloween candy, didn't you? See? Go ahead and read.
And I will receive you, and I will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty.
Saith the Lord Almighty. 7:1.
Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness.
Again, we got to cleanse ourselves. Again, we got to purify ourselves from all this uncleanness. Since the Lord then promises all these things, it ain't nothing greater than the promises of God. We need to cleanse ourselves so we can receive them. Come on.
Let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness.
You're supposed to do what with holiness?
Perfecting holiness.
Perfect holiness. So when somebody tell you that you can't be perfect, what they're saying is don't even try. But if you don't try, guess what? You're not going to be. That means you're not going to get that perfect body. Because even though we all going to live forever, even though we all going to have a spiritual body, but that spiritual body that's in the lake of fire ain't perfect. Because that body can feel pain. Those eyes can shed tears. But us, that's going to be in the kingdom of the Father, we ain't going to feel no pain, nor are we going to shed tears. Read that verse again.
Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God.
So this is what we got to do. If we truly serve as God, we got to separate ourselves from everybody else in this world that's doing all this wickedness, even if it's your family, and get you a new family, like I said, the spiritual family, and cleanse ourselves from all this uncleanness. Thank you for your time.